$1,200,000 for the horses, $323,000 per year to play, $15,000 for a saddle, $300 for a mallet, 8 horses, 2 grooms, 1 uniform, 40 minutes per match. This is what polo actually costs, from the stable to the saddle to the shirt on your back. In our first episode, we traced polo across 2,500 years. We showed you the history, the geography, the trust mechanism at the heart of the sport. But there is a question that every viewer asked silently: what does this actually cost? Not in the abstract, in real numbers. Today, we are going further. We will show you the numbers, but we will also show you what those numbers buy. The horses, the equipment, the clothing, the infrastructure, because the cost of polo is not just a dollar figure. It is a visual language, a code of objects and garments that signals instantly and unmistakably that you belong to a world most people never see. This is the real cost of polo. Let us begin with the single largest expense: the horses. A competitive amateur at the high goal level maintains a string of 8 horses. Each horse costs between $50,000 and $200,000 to acquire. The total capital cost of your string before you ever touch a mallet is between $400,000 and $1.2 million. But the purchase price is only the beginning. Training and conditioning for those 8 animals runs approximately $120,000 per year. That covers feed, supplements, the exercise regime, the conditioning work that keeps them at peak fitness, roughly $15,000 per horse. These are not pets. They are elite athletes who happen to eat hay. Why 8 horses? Because polo is divided into periods called chukkers, 7.5 minutes of continuous play at speeds exceeding 35 miles per hour. Each horse can play only 1 chukker before it must rest. A match consists of 4 to 6 chukkers. You ride a different horse for each period. This is not tradition. This is biology. A polo pony stopping, turning, and accelerating at full speed for 7.5 minutes is at its absolute physiological limit. 8 horses is not a collection. It is a necessity. There is no way around this number. Now, let us add up what it costs to keep this operation running for 1 year. Training and conditioning, $120,000. Farrier and veterinary care, $48,000 annually, about $500 per horse per month for horseshoes, dental work, joint injections. 2 full-time grooms who feed, groom, tack up, and care for these animals every single day, $80,000 per year. Club membership fees at Guards Polo Club, Cirencester, or Cowdray Park, $35,000 per year, not including tournament entry fees. Travel and transport, including flying 8 horses to Argentina for the winter season, adds another $40,000. Excluding the horses themselves, which are capital assets, the annual operating cost is approximately $323,000. And that gets you to the starting line. It does not guarantee you win anything. Let us leave the stable for a moment and look at what a polo player holds in their hands. The mallet, the most essential piece of equipment in the sport, is handmade. Crafted from bamboo or carbon fiber with a hardwood head, each mallet costs between $200 and $300. A serious player will go through 20 to 30 mallets in a single season. The saddle is an heirloom-grade object, hand-stitched from Argentine or English leather, custom-fitted to both horse and rider. A polo saddle costs between $5,000 and $15,000. The leather is not merely functional. It is a material that signals, instantly, the difference between something bought and something commissioned. The helmet, the knee guards, the boots, all bespoke, all handmade, all built by artisans whose client lists read like a register of the global elite. When you see a polo player ride onto the field, you are looking at approximately $25,000 to $30,000 of equipment before the horse takes a single step. Now consider what the player wears. The uniform of polo is so distinctive, so consistent, so unchanged across a century that it functions as a kind of visual password. White trousers, always white, always fitted, always immaculate, despite the dust and sweat of the field. A team jersey in saturated color, bearing the patron's crest or the club's colors, worn, tucked, and crisp. Brown leather boots, polished to a military shine, rising to just below the knee. A belt that matches the boots. This is not sportswear. This is a uniform in the military sense, a garment designed to erase individuality and signal membership. When you see a group of polo players walking toward the field, you do not see athletes. You see officers of a private regiment. The white pants alone, custom-tailored, replaced multiple times per season because grass stains and horse sweat are unforgiving, costs several $100s per pair. A full set of playing attire, from boots to helmet to jersey, runs between $5,000 and $8,000, and none of it can be bought in a department store. There are 3 tiers in polo, and they are defined entirely by who pays. At the bottom, and bottom is a relative term, you have the amateur. The amateur pays for everything: the horses, the grooms, the equipment, the membership, the transport. The amateur writes every check and asks for nothing in return except the opportunity to play. In the middle, the professional, paid between $30,000 and $150,000 per season, depending on their handicap. The professional does not own horses. The patron provides them. The professional's only job is to perform. And at the top, the patron, the person who finances the entire operation, including the professionals who play on their team. A patron at the highest level can spend $2 to $5 million per season. This is not a sport. This is an economy. The patron is the most important figure in polo and the least understood. A patron is not merely a wealthy person who likes horses. A patron is the economic engine of the entire sport. They finance the team. They hire the professionals. They provide the horses, the equipment, the grooms, the transport. And in return, this is the part that outsiders find hardest to understand, they get to play. In football, owners sit in boxes and never touch the ball. In Formula One, the money is separated from the driving by an entire corporate apparatus. In polo, the person who writes the checks rides the same horses, carries the same mallet, and plays on the same field as the professionals they employ. They wear the same white pants. They carry the same handmade mallet. They sit on the same hand-stitched saddle. The money does not buy distance. The money buys closeness. We have now accounted for everything: the horses, the staff, the veterinary care, the mallet, the saddle, the uniform, the membership, the transport. We have shown you not just the numbers, but the objects. The things those numbers become. The hand-stitched leather, the polished brown boots, the white pants that cannot be bought in a store. And we are left with a question the numbers alone cannot answer. Why would anyone pay this? Not why can they afford it, but why this, specifically? Why polo, when the same money could buy almost anything else in the world? The answer is what we explored in our first episode. Polo is not a sport you play for fun. It is a trust mechanism, a 40-minute crucible in which character is revealed and reputations are forged. The cost is not the indulgence. The cost is the barrier that ensures only serious people show up. You do not pay $323,000 per year to hit a ball with a mallet. You pay it to stand on a field, in those white pants, holding that handmade mallet, sitting on that hand-stitched saddle, next to the kind of people who can also pay it. Polo costs $323,000 per year. But across 2 episodes and 2.5 millennia of history, we have now seen the truth. The money was never the point. The horses, the mallet, the saddle, the uniform, they were never the point. They were always the gate, and the gate was always the point. Next time, we leave the polo field behind entirely. We go to sea, to a castle on the water where the rules are unwritten. The ballot box is black, and the door has been closed for 200 years. We go inside the Royal Yacht Squadron.